Hi, I'm Jax, and I like When Calls the
I'm
Heart.
Dan, and I despise When Calls the Heart, and this is the
Deck the Hallmark Podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host this podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Oh,
Well, hello, everybody.
It's the best time of the week, Brand.
Is it?
Yeah,
Why do you say it?
because we get to record with our buddy Jax.
Love Jax. Hi, bud.
I can't wait to come down and visit you guys for
Oh,
Bramble
I
Fest.
can't wait either. Also, the reason it's the best time of the week is at this point we're recording this. What are you doing?
You were over here for a long
I was
time.
just right
didn't know
here.
if- No, you were kind of in
I
the-
was not over
You
there.
were basically
I was
right now.
here.
You were putting your hand on my leg.
There's
It was
nowhere
a
else.
whole
I
thing.
was not. How would I? I
got
can
long
put my
arms.
hand on your leg
I
if
know
that's
you
what you
can.
want. Okay. This
There's nothing wrong
by
with that.
recording this episode, it means we have already watched When Calls the Heart.
We have?
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
We sure have.
Jax, the folks who are out in force upset at us this year. I don't know if you know this or not, Jax.
Oh, I do. But tell me more about what you know.
I don't. I've heard
I don't know.
Producer Aaron
I
has
didn't know that
informed
anyone
me.
was mad at
Oh
us.
yeah. But here's the thing, and it is what it is. I think a couple things. It does seem like I've read. We've gotten several emails. I've read personally one email. That's all I've read. Aaron read some of one other one to me, and then there were some comments. It seems like they're all written by the same person, and I don't want to. There's a couple things that are like, well, if you guys don't like it, why should you? First of all, we love this. We love this. Recording this show, I laugh usually harder than I laugh all week. It is a joy to do this. But it's funny that the people that are upset are the same people that really enjoyed us last season. If that makes sense, Jack. So, I think some people this show means a lot more to than it does to us. And so, if you can do yourself a favor or a disservice and go back into season 2 and hear how much we hated the show. It's not new. This feeling is not new. But you know what? At the end of the day, once we watch it, it's kind of over for us.
But I do think to the person that it's a fair question. Why are we doing it if we don't like the show? It's a fair question.
Fair question.
I think at this point we're completionist.
We are.
It's like we've gone this far.
But there's been times when you've liked the show.
There have been
So
times.
it could come back around. And
Yeah.
also, I love doing this podcast. We can tell by the numbers of people that listen that people like hearing it. Maybe they hate listening. But they're enjoying listening to see what we're going to say. And we're consistent. We're consistent with what we're saying here. And if it's bad, we tend to say that. Go ahead, Jax.
Well, no, here's the thing. You are right. I think in terms of you guys, I think some people felt like I've always been sunshine and roses and rainbows, and like I was coming in hot and like going after Kevin McGarry. And here's my thing with that. And I say this all the time to the little girls that I coach. If you're giving a good performance, it's much easier for me to pick it apart and talk about the little things that I think could be better.
Yeah.
That's not me trying to like go after someone. That's me being like, oh, as an actor and someone who has studied the craft of acting, now it gets fun for me because it's not just a wash of like bad, terrible. It's also like, oh, I can actually talk about this would have been a more interesting choice for me to have that happen.
Also, Jax is more of a professional podcaster than we are. I mean, she's been doing it longer. You look at the Bubbly Sesh. It predates the Deck the Hallmark.
Can we not look at the Bubbly Sesh? There are no episodes available on the Bubbly Sesh for you to listen to.
Here's the thing is that you are.
Good thing I saved them all.
We got them all. We got them all in a cloud file that we will send to you if you just email us for free.
That's
Anybody.
Right. No, actually, you got to pay for it.
You got to pay for it.
You got to pay for.
I would.
You got to pay for the Bubbly Sesh.
As someone who has been doing this and then has been doing this
Go to
with
bubblysesh.com.
Bubblysesh.com.
You can find it there.
You can find it there at bubblysesh.com. Yes, you can. You are, Jax, you are the best in the world at being constructively critical while being positive. And last week was as strong an effort as I've ever seen. You were unbelievable last week. You were so good, but people can't hear we've found this out with Brand too. People can't hear anything constructive from either someone that's supposed to be sunshine and rainbows all the time. They can't. And what's wild is, to me, as someone that has loved doing this and will continue to do it because it's fun, there are people that quit watching this show at certain points because it didn't go their way. They wrote hundreds and thousands of words about how they had been deceived by the showrunners. I've never cared that much a day in my life about this show. I laugh every week.
Well, and
it's fun for me.
There's been too many showrunners to
That's right.
To care. It's like it's a dime a dozen at this point. It's a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
Say
Too many
we've all
showrunners.
somebody go to bubblysesh.com. So it's catching on like wildfire.
too many showrunners. Too
Yeah.
many showrunners.
Yeah. Too many runners.
Well, let's talk about One Calls to Heart.
Let's.
Season 11, episode 2.
10. Oh, 2. Okay,
2.
my bad.
Called. What's it called, Dan?
A party planning When Calls the Heart episode.
Okay, very specific. Very
we have a
specific
hand?
title.
I see that
yes, Aaron.
Do you want to phone a friend, Dan?
I would love to phone a friend. I'd love to phone my friend Aaron Shea.
Knows.
Tomorrow Never Knows?
Yeah.
What?
Tomorrow and tomorrow and
Tomorrow
tomorrow
never
creeps in a
knows.
steady pace.
Never knows.
Okay.
Tomorrow never knows.
Tomorrow's a never knows. What does it mean?
Remember when they always have like heart in the title and it was
Yeah,
easy to
that was
It was
fun.
so much easier.
Now it's just we're gonna throw some words in the air.
Tomorrow Never Knows.
What does it mean?
I don't know. I've heard If Tomorrow Never Comes. I've heard of that because it's
Also,
always
Tomorrow
tomorrow.
Never Dies.
Tomorrow Never Dies, little James Bond. Tomorrow Never Knows.
This is the James Bond of One Calls to Heart.
We're not promised
Never
tomorrow. I
knows.
know that much. Amen.
Amen. Let's go. It originally aired on April 14th, and it went a little something like this. Elizabeth and Rosemary leave their children with Robert. Naturally, Rosemary's talking about how I'm sure we're all happy Nathan's home. I'm sure we're all equally happy
Wink, wink.
at
You
Nathan's
know
home.
what I mean?
Especially with his birthday coming up. Rosemary's like, we should throw him a low-key birthday party. And Elizabeth's
Party
like,
planning is strong with this one.
Elizabeth's like, I am happy he's home. That's nice, huh? Allie, I'm Allie.
He
And,
proposes at the end of this episode, so it's so crazy. that we
And
start with
Nathan are hanging out. She asked if they could go fishing for his birthday. He likes the sound of that. They haven't gone fishing in a long time. But after talking to Elizabeth, he is now suspicious that Allie is throwing a big surprise party. Mayor Bill, you remembered he was the mayor.
I did
when
remember
when
he was the
they
mayor.
said mayor, you
I was like,
remembered.
yes,
You
yes, He is the Fiona.
Jax,
for a bit.
you remembered.
You remembered.
I could never forget.
Yes.
That's right.
No.
Mayor Bill is talking to Frickum, and they're both.
He was mayor too at one point, right?
Yeah, I think they're both unsure about the resort. So we weren't going crazy.
We weren't going
there
crazy.
are some
Yes.
resort concerns. So they pop on a phone call with their concerns to Lucas. Lucas explains that if they're unsure about Hope Valley having a
This is the
resort,
original hop on a call.
it,
That's what we do for a living now.
that's right. It doesn't have to be Hope Valley. You could take it somewhere else. But they're all like, no, we want it. Lucas is like, well, here's the thing. If we're going to bring this this resort to Hope Valley, I'm going to have to sell the saloon and the hotel. And says, Frickum, can you help make this? You've been crushing it down there. Can you help make sure it happens? You and Lee work together. Crunch the numbers, decide what. Oh, we got to do conflict of interest.
Yes. Yeah. It's one of those.
After the call, Rosemary gets mad at Lee for forgetting their breakfast dates. But silly Lee says, let's do lunch.
Yeah, easy.
I'll be there.
Silly.
Lee. At school, Faith asks Elizabeth if baby Jack would want to collect worms after school because Nathan and her are going to go fishing for his birthday. Elizabeth's like, so you're just
The amount of detail that you're giving to this makes me so happy.
so you're just going to do the fishing, huh? Nothing else? And she's like, yeah, just fishing. On her walk back through town, Elizabeth
All the way through town.
Elizabeth sees Gowan. She's very happy. He's very
We all
happy.
are, yeah.
We're all very happy. She asks how Abigail is, and he's like, she's doing good, but you know what? It's good to be home. It's good to be home. tending to my garden in my conductor outfit. Rosemary is once again annoyed at being scooped by her rival. Ned is like, maybe get a scooper. Maybe get somebody that can give you some scoops. It's a wild idea. Allie finds Elizabeth and Rosemary and says that Nathan's being weird about the fishing. It comes out that now he thinks that Allie is going to throw her a party. So now Allie is like, well, now I have to throw a party. Naturally, Rosemary offers Elizabeth's party planning services to Allie. Frickum thinks that he did something to make May mad because she's being weird whenever they talk. She's like, there's nothing weird here. Lee doesn't come to lunch, and Rosemary is mad at him for that. She finds Lee, and he's, looking at the saloon books. He thinks that maybe they should buy it, and Rosemary is mad because they barely see each other as it is.
As it is.
You want to buy something even though I never see you now. Faith is with that kid again from last week, that she's now the guardian of.
That's right.
And giving her ice cream and letting her spin around in circles. It's fun. It's fun having a kid. Elizabeth makes Banner. Elizabeth makes Banner.
Look at Banner, Mikey.
Look at Banner, Mikey. And Lil Jack makes cards.
Little Jack makes cards.
Yeah.
Yes.
Faith is still sad about the the loss of our favorite
Fiona.
Character.
Yeah.
And
she is.
she just kind of like thinks about her. She's like,
you know what makes me feel better is just thinking of one of my favorite people, Fiona. Just saying.
Rosemary and Lee do decide that they are going to buy this
hotel bar.
The hotel.
4 Aces, the Wild Ace.
Yes, because
the Queen of Hearts.
Frickham's doing such a good job. Let's let Frickham just run with it. He's crushing it. So they tell Frickham, hey, we found a buyer. You get to stay on, and you get to run this place, even though you have no ownership stake in it.
Do all the work, please.
Doesn't matter.
Capitalism.
We are doing you a solid.
That's right.
Could we have brought you in?
Yes.
Maybe as co-owner.
Yeah.
Maybe, hey, what do you have? We could have brought you in on this. No, sirree.
And from there, the wage gap grew to what it is right now.
That's right. It's time for the party, y'all. Elizabeth got the whole town to help out. The whole town comes. It is more people than Nathan was expecting because Nathan was told small gathering, this big gathering.
This big
with
gathering.
Banner.
Good thing there is Banner. Yes.
There's Banner. And he's shocked by this. He and Elizabeth go outside to talk. He finds a little sparkle
in her hair.
Kind of looked a little bit like a magic trick. Like, hey, what's that around your ear? It's a star. Which I thought was really funny. They start singing for He's a Jolly Good Fellow at his birthday party.
And Nathan, that's my cue.
And you think that's my cue.
I'm the Jolly Good Fellow
they're
in
singing
question. Who else could be?
Which, in his defense,
yes.
It is your birthday party.
It would be you that is
you
the Jolly Good Fellow.
You are that Jolly Good Fellow.
You have to be. Yes.
So they walk in together, and wouldn't you know it, they're all singing for He's a Jolly Good Fellow to one you Lucas Burchard.
One you Lucas Burchard. One you Lucas.
Whoa.
What does she have to do with it?
One you Lucas. Lucas Burchard, who is there and is standing on the stairs looking on as people sing. And that, my friends, was When Calls the Heart, Season 11, Episode 2, Tomorrow Never Knows.
We did it.
We're going to take a
How could you not love that?
break.
This is good stuff.
Loved it.
She makes Banner. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. We will break this episode down here on Deck the Hallmark. Greetings, friends, compadres. It's great to be back talking about When Calls the Heart, Season 11. Can you believe it? 11
I can't.
seasons.
Not a day goes by.
Episode 2 of this particular season.
Not a day goes by.
It's not often.
I thought you were going to sing that.
It's beautiful. It's not often we get a party planning episode of a show.
Those are the big ones.
So let's break it down. We're going to start with the hot take. We're going to share exactly how we felt about this movie, and we might make you mad.
Now's the chance to turn it off.
Jax, what'd you think of episode 2?
Okay, so I was pleased because last week when I specifically asked for it, please less cheesy romance, as I characterize it. All these opinions are my own and do not in any way
the views of
reflect.
the podcast. We would never
Yes,
besmirch
exactly.
the good name of When Calls the Heart. Jax, on the other hand.
Never. On the other hand, I was really, really happy that in this episode we get to see the fun, flirty banter between Nathan and Elizabeth that we liked so much about, well, I'll speak for myself, that I liked so much about season 10, where it was like, oh, these two do have better chemistry. And we got to see that with all of this party planning fun that was happening here. I really enjoyed it. I thought the little sparkle in the hair moment was actually romantic, not cheesy. I was all in for it. I did not understand the subplot with May and Hickam. Like it ended up being kind of like a nothing burger of a thing at all. And then it's like, oh, this is because things are getting serious. It's like, I'm sorry, things could not be further from serious with Hickam and May. And then I think my other big thought for this episode, which it's interesting to hear the way Bran was reflecting it in the synopsis, and Dan, it felt like you were supporting it, of like Mike Hickam should be getting more. No, he is lucky. He's not having any financial risk. Lee and Rosemary are taking that. I didn't know you guys were so anti-capitalism. No, I'm kidding, because I kind of am.
Through that. That's how good an actor you are. We'll get to that in the wait what, Jax. Don't worry. I bet it won't even get to me, but who knows? As two people that run our own business, what we do around here is we try our best to make sure we do none of the work and get all the profit. That's the goal.
That's the way to do it. That's how you have to do it. But overall, I thought I was so much. We'll get into the specifics, but overall, I enjoyed this one so much more than last week's episode.
I did enjoy this one more than last week. I do think as far as party planning episodes go, it was low risk, high reward. We don't get a lot of actual planning. We do get Elizabeth makes banner, but...
We get a lot of planning.
But, no, well, kind of. Real, not a ton. It's not like they're like
a lot of conversations,
scouting out locations.
There's a lot of conversations about the party.
But I'm fine because
invitations.
But it's like silly stuff. It's silly stuff. I thought it was fine. I did like the scene outside of the saloon at the party, and I will say that scene gave me hope for my goal of, by episode 4 I want Kiss, and then let's just get engaged, and then let's have a wedding by the end of the season. I don't think it's out of the question, especially given that this is 2 episodes longer than last season. I don't think it's out of the question for them to speed this process up because of what we've been through the past few seasons. So that scene was so full of life and energy and sparks that I think it's there. I think it's ripe for the taking, and we'll see obviously what they do with it. Lucas at the end, I mean, I'll get to it in my wait what, but that was wild. That whole sequence was wild.
But watch the coming on next week, like all of that.
Didn't watch it, no.
Forward momentum that you think we have with Nathan and Elizabeth, they're at least portraying the fact that Lucas being back in town means that this love triangle is not completely over.
Why'd you say it? I don't watch those.
Did you watch it, Jax?
Why'd you have to tell it to me?
Yeah, and I will say it was rough for me. I don't want to go down that path again. I don't want to go down that path again.
Not implied, heavily insinuated that he's showing up at school, he's making a grand gesture,
Well, Andy, you know what's interesting now that you bring that up? Nathan does party trick, pulling something behind the ear.
Yes.
You know who's an actual magician?
And
Lucas. Lucas is an actual magician. Right. I bet you forgot that about him.
I could never forget. I love magicians.
Of course you do.
You're the coolest person I know.
Newark's my favorite airport. Jacklyn, Collier.
Pulling, but yeah, I think maybe okay. I don't know. Maybe you guys tell me something that I didn't know. I'll tell you something that you don't know. There are a lot of different ways to cut a single object.
Yes.
Dan, you go.
Great.
That's something you didn't know.
I guess if we're ranking this on the highest parts of the episode, there are a couple of things in this episode that I think are better than anything we saw last week. But if you're ranking it on the lows of this episode, which is the majority of it, then this is a step in the wrong direction.
What was low compared to last week? What was low in this episode?
I think if you listen to the two synopses, you would hear it. But the overwhelming majority of this episode is spent planning a birthday party. And it's the whole bit of Nathan doesn't know, he does know, he thinks he knows, he doesn't know. That is a plot that I've seen on sitcoms. Like 22-minute sitcoms like Family Matters would have that plot. But here's the thing is I've seen those on sitcoms and I feel like they're stretched thin on a 22-minute show. This is a 42-minute episode where the overwhelming majority is he wants a party, doesn't want a party, but does, thinks he's getting one, isn't, is, but thinks he is. Like, and it is, and Kevin McGarry is doing his darndest to play it for laughs. And he is committed to playing it for laughs. And it is just fundamentally not funny. And not, I can't, like, it already feels like a filler episode. Now, there's a couple things in my feels I'll get to that I think are actual feels. The scene between Nathan and Elizabeth, quality scene there at the end. And then we bring Lucas back in and it's like, what? Why are you? Because that is not. They're not bringing Lucas in because they need Chris McNally to film his scenes with everybody else. That's not why they're bringing him in. There's clearly something there, and that's unfortunate. So this movie stoops. This episode stoops lower than last week's. Also has a few glimmers of hope.
What about my
really
scene?
Bad. Baby Jack?
Yeah.
You're starting to get some more lines.
Yeah.
Is it because you've been complaining to your union rep?
Oh, I'm peeved.
Yeah, you are. You're peeved. Did you file like a grievance with the shop steward?
Can I tell you a story?
Or what'd you do?
Can I tell you something real quick? A little spoiler?
I would love for you to tell me a spoiler real quick.
I didn't make that card.
You didn't make that card?
I didn't make that
Oh,
card.
baby Jay.
They didn't think I could do it.
Oh, they didn't think
They
could you?
They brought in an artist.
An artist?
Yeah.
Who'd they bring in?
Mecky from the Fifth.
Mecky from the Fifth.
A true artist.
A true artist.
Ahead of the time.
Okay.
I thought I could do it.
That's a good tidbit.
They wouldn't let me do it.
They wouldn't let you.
Give me more lines, though.
So it was a stunt situation. They gave you more lines. You're getting there.
And I
Are you being kinder? Because we heard that you were not being kind to the cast.
To whom?
We talked about this all season last season.
Those are lies.
Okay, so
Straight
you're not
from the
being
devil's
kind
mouth.
Great, straight from the devil's mouth. Great.
Aaron Krakow.
You want to kick us to the feels?
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm everyone's feels, but sure, let's kick to the feels.
Okay, great.
Thanks, Baby Jack. Love you, buddy. Love that guy. It's time for the feels, as Baby Jack said. Where we're talking about what in this episode gave us feels. Jax?
Yeah, I think that scene, maybe it's the magic, maybe it's the chemistry between Aaron Krakow and Kevin McGarry, but when he was doing whatever he was doing with the glitter in her hair, trying to pull the coin out, whatever it was, because I actually couldn't understand it that well, probably because I was horned up. I thought it was great, you guys. And it gave me feels. Horned up feels. The other thing that I want to point
out is from a separate podcast we do, and it's not. We can't put it even on the air, but Jax is a co-host, I'll tell you that much.
It was excellent. The other feel that I want to focus on is I was a little bit annoyed, a little bit peeved about the Lee and Rosemary thing, and here's why.
Please.
Probably going to be a different reason than what you think, because this is just me like standing up for Rosemary, but like we're sort of like meant to feel the way that it's filmed and how she's so madcap and like being ridiculous that like she's kind of being silly about it. I get it, like the breakfast date, whatever. But when he skips the lunch thing after he promised, I'm like, in a relationship, you need to know that you can count on someone. It's fine for him to say, actually, let's not do anything today. I really need your support in this. But when he skips the lunch and we're supposed to think that Rosemary's still being all like adorable and silly about her outrage, I didn't like it.
Yeah,
keep your promise.
I'm 100% with you.
I'm also with you
Jax
on this, Jax.
You have to be a person of your word.
Lee doesn't take his wife serious
At all.
He doesn't take her seriously.
That's exactly what it is.
And
That's
we
exactly
can feel that way, but we're not married to her. We're not married to her.
That is correct.
That's a really good
You
point.
have to take your spouse seriously.
Yeah, and also I'll go a step further. This is a wait what, but we do have a little bit of experience running a business, and I can tell you this: the fundamental. There are more wait whats we'll leave, but the fundamental idea that my wife is communicating with me, and I am saying words, but I'm not really communicating on her wavelength. I've not met her where she is. I'm not listening to her. That you think that's going to be fixed by you acquiring another company is as dumb as this show has ever been. Ever. And not only that, it's not only dumb, but then to have Rosemary in one scene go, oh, I guess you're right, is like doubling down on moron. Like you have.
Yes.
Hit it? Great. You now, what you're saying is if we buy a third company, then we'll have more time to spend together. That is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
You won't. Things go wrong. You have fires to put out. Even if you have employees, you're not going to have more time by having more things to do. And then for Rosemary to hear it and go, oh, I guess I wasn't really listening to you. I'm really sorry. That really pissed me off because he has written her off all episode long. And then for her to be like, I didn't come to my senses and see that my husband is the reasonable one. That was tough.
It's very clear that he is just like, my wife is playing journalist.
That's
like,
right.
Doesn't take,
Yes.
which
She is.
fair. Again, we can think
That's
this.
right. Sure.
We're not married to her.
That's right.
That she's playing journalist. She's not listening. Oh, she'll come around. Like every time she leaves the room, he's just like, ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. It's like whatever. We'll get to by the end of it.
But that means I can just say, I'll meet you for breakfast, I'll meet you for lunch, and never show up. And then mansplain to her how adding a business means more time together as a family. That's stupid. That's for
especially when they're going to get an influx of money
New people.
because of the they already brought it up. He's going to get a bunch of money from the amount of lumber that the resort is going to need. So if it's just about free time is money, so if we get more money, then we'll have more time together. You're going to get it with the lumber.
Yeah, and
I love podcasting with two extremely emotionally intelligent men.
God bless you, but this is it's easy to look that way when this show is just throwing dumb softballs out there. I mean, guys, like we take our jobs like we want to grow as a business, but not at the expense of our families. And we would never in our head, I would never look at Brandon and go, you know what? If we double the size of our business, that would mean we'd spend more time with our families. That's absurd. It's just absurd. It's just crazy town. And then they explain it away by just going, well, Hickham's doing such a great job. He's never going to need any help. You know how that goes. Right. It was infuriating. Stupid.
So bad.
Do I have feels?
I don't know.
I have
Do
to
you?
do this scene?
Do you have feels?
Yeah. Gowan is in this episode,
Yeah,
and
is.
he has two delectable scenes. One, he's wearing a conductor outfit out in the garden, and I adored it. Two, he's sitting at the bar reading a book, giving as much time to Bill as I would if I was in this scenario. And he has this amazing thing where Bill's doing this whole thing, and you hear Gowan go, cow manure. And then you think that he's talking about him, but he's not actually paying attention. Loved both of those scenes. Can't get enough of Gowan. Give him as many scenes as he will give you. I love it.
I'll piggyback on that. They ask in my favorite line delivery, maybe of all time in this show. They ask him, I know that a lot of you out there are pulling for Elizabeth and Gowan, and that's fine. They ask him how Abigail is, and he says this line. She's as fine as she's ever been.
I know it.
Are you kidding me right now? He knocked on that door. She opened it up, and we didn't hear from him for a weekend. That is what happened. That line delivery.
He kept knocking on doors.
Oh
if you know
my
what I mean.
goodness! Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah.
Gowan, I was just like,
Like, if people thought that the pulling the little star glitter out of her hair was hot.
Oh, no.
Give Gowan
No.
2 minutes.
Yes.
With Elizabeth.
That's right. No.
They had more. Well, hold on. I'm sure he could last longer. The more
hashtag horned up feels.
Yeah.
That is what we're.
All I'm saying, like in the scene where they hug. The chemistry there is clear as day that Elizabeth is attracted to Gowan. It is clear as day.
How's Abigail? She's as fine as she's ever been. Boy, howdy. I'm just telling you. That was unbelievable. I also had Gustav feels because we hear Gustav.
I thought that was funny too.
We hear Gustav. We've never met Gustav, and I don't think we've ever heard him. No. We got to hear him this week. That was a treat. And I like that. It was a treat.
Don't we meet him one time?
Did we meet him?
I think we met him a couple of times, maybe.
And then lastly,
but
not in seasons, 5+.
We're already way long, but I have to mention this because I called it last week. Guys, Faith and Fiona might be an actual thing.
That's happening.
Faith and Fiona might be an actual thing. This show might, and if they do it,
they won't.
I will tell you,
they stirred.
The Sturman's going to stir. If they do this,
Sturman hasn't been on the show in years.
What do you mean?
I don't think that showrunner.
Lindsay Sturman's the current showrunner. She's the current.
Yeah. Who's the one that we used
Tinker's
to?
Going to take.
Tinker hasn't been. Okay,
Sturman's going to stir. And I'm just telling you right now, if they do this and make all of those super conservative Jeanette Oakey fans mad, I will forgive almost everything else I've watched in this show. I would be so excited if they did.
I think it works too. Like I think
works.
The thing is, it doesn't actually feel like, oh, I mean, of course I know what people will say, but it doesn't feel like this thing of like, oh, they're going woke. It's like I could just imagine these two. There's a sensuality.
But there's two things. The reason it works so well, there's two things. One is it gets you to realize that queer people are family friendly. I think we have this problem, and it's a dog whistle, and it's family friendly means straight, white suburbs, and them showing you, that's not a dog whistle because I can hear it. I don't think you know what a dog whistle is. It's not important.
You're a dog.
Her Faith taking care of this child, being on a family friendly show, also being queer, that's family friendly. That's one. And two, Viv Leacock, interview we had last week, he was amazing. Articulated beautifully how I like to believe that Hope Valley takes place in a different time, like timeline entirely. World War I doesn't exist. Everything is the best version of itself. Well, you know what the best version of 1919 is? The version where Faith and Fiona can be a couple. That's the best version. So if they do that, more power to them.
But you know what's happening right now?
A break?
I'm lonely.
That's Faith.
Fair.
She's lonely. Let's think, what episode is that from, Aaron?
Christmas with My Ex.
Christmas with My Ex.
Yeah, look it up don't.
Our episode came out May 29th, 2023.
Yeah, almost a year ago.
And if you want to see the video clip that goes along with what Brand is playing, you can also check out our Instagram, May 29th, 2023.
There you go.
It's just a year's worth of episodes. 300 episodes.
Listen,
got a lot of play on
it's a gold mine.
Yeah, it's a gold mine.
It was a hit
that we have mined to its fullest.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back and see what else we got up our sleeves here on
Deck the Hallmark.
Hello to all the lords that are leaping while they're listening to this episode. It's great to be heard by you today. Shout out to everybody who's watching us on Philo.
To all the ladies dancing out there.
Philo.tv/DTH. You can watch the show, and of course, you can watch When Calls to Heart every single week right there on Philo.
One
yes,
button
Aaron?
ad skip.
Are you guys not going to shout out the drummers drumming?
I'm sorry. And the drummers got mad last week.
No, not
they got
after
mad
what
last
they
week.
did. Not after.
Yeah. The drummers are all Team Nathan, and they're so upset.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm never this guy that's like we should cancel them. But what the drummers did, and they know what they did, and I'm not going to say it here on this show.
No.
No. Unforgivable.
Unforgivable. I agree.
Gowan blowing up the entire town and killing all the men. Forgivable.
Mm-hmm. What
the drummers did.
I can't believe Aaron even brought it up.
Why did you do that?
That's right.
I guess we know where you stand.
Yeah, I'm team drummer.
You stand with the drummers. Wow.
Yeah, I'm still employed here.
That's
unbelievable.
hello at deckthehallmark.com. Sheesh. It's time for the Wait What, is where we talk about what in this episode made us go, wait, what? Jax, I'll start with you.
I feel like you guys are going to do a really great job of covering these, so I'll just offer two because there were quite a lot. Bran, you referenced this in your synopsis, but the fact that Robert is watching two kids and Elizabeth says as a way to reassure Rosemary, Allie's done it before. It's like, also, I don't think Allie should be minding two young children on her own either. But with that being said, Allie's much more capable than Robert. He should not be watching a toddler and like a 4-year-old. No. What is happening? And then my other thing is a question to you guys. Do you think, okay, Gowan's performance, incredible. And the showing up at Abigail's, do we think that the team of When Calls the Heart wrote that in and was in discussions with Hallmark? Like, because I think Hallmark proper, like Hallmark Media, is the one that is stopping Lori coming back. We know everyone that works on the show would want Lori to come back. It's the network that does it.
Yes.
That's right.
Do you guys think that there was a possibility that Hallmark was like, maybe, we don't know, we'll figure it out, so they were leaving it open? Or did they know Lori wasn't coming back and still wrote
I
this in?
think, I have an opinion. That's all I have. And it is that Brad Cravoy, who owns this, and he at the end of the day, he owns the rights. He wants Lori to come back. And so they're going to
said as much.
They're going to keep bringing it up
Yeah.
and banging the drum. And then if for some reason Hallmark cancels the show, he's going to take his 100 plus episodes. He's going to take that back catalog. He's going to go somewhere, not mention any names, but we probably know where.
We think.
And he's going to say, I've got 100 back catalog episodes. I've got a show that gets 2 million viewers a week, and Lori Loughlin's coming back. How much money you giving me? That is what I think, and I'm fascinated to see what happens there.
Yeah, I don't know how like script approvals go with this show. Like, I don't know who has to approve it. I don't know if anybody at the network has to approve it. I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
But it is a weird thing to do if you know that you're not going to bring her. That's just mean. Yeah. That's mean spirit on Hallmark's part. Yeah. Be like, yeah, write it in. We're no way. No. Write it in. It'll be funny.
Yeah.
Fine as she's ever been.
Fine as she's ever been.
We got that line, and you were right. He delivered the heck out of that.
Dude, why else would you say it like that? As fine as she's ever been. There's so many ways to be like, Abigail's doing great without it being sexual. You didn't say that. Henry Martin Cummins, and he knew it too. He got his sides, and he was like, I got 2 scenes. Buckle up, because it's happening.
I'm dying to talk to that guy.
Man, can we get him on the pod?
I'm going to make it happen.
I'm sure you could.
This is the year.
People think it's easy for us to get people on the pod, but sometimes it isn't, if you can believe it.
Especially after the drummers.
Yeah.
Guys, listen, I love Baby Jack as much as the next guy. There's no way.
It sounded like.
What did I say?
It sounded like you almost said you love Baby Jack as naked as the next guy, and I want you to be able to correct that now, or the drummers will have a point.
That's not what I meant. It's not even what I said. As I was trying to say,
Aaron certainly thought so.
I was trying to say I was trying to say.
I wish we had the Aaron cam on there.
I was trying to say as much as the next guy. I don't know if you know this about me. Sometimes I have a hard time with words, and it came out. I think I love Baby Jack
as much as the next guy is what you're trying to say.
Yes, but I think it just came out. I love Baby Jack, neck guy.
Yes,
and so
yes, that's what happened.
Yeah,
and we got that straightened out.
Yeah.
Yep.
He didn't make that card. He didn't make that card.
He didn't make that card.
He didn't. He didn't make that card.
True story.
By the way, he's holding the crayon. There's no way he made that card.
No,
There's no way he made that card.
No, he didn't.
That's all I'm going to say. There's no way. Baby Jack, you can do a lot of great things, and you can do no wrong on the show, if you ask me. I think he's listening in, but there's no way he made the card, right?
He did not make the card.
Elizabeth made a banner.
Yes.
He didn't make
How old
card.
are we supposed to believe Baby Jack is?
That's my thing. I don't know.
I don't
aging
know
how
faster
old.
than the show is supposed to age.
Yeah.
The show is only 4 months later, and he is clearly a year and a half older. Yeah. He might be Benjamin Button. He might be Benjamin Button. And maybe he did make card at that point.
Yeah.
Baby Jack is Benjamin Button and made the card. That's where I am with it.
But either way, how old is he? Like, how old's the actor?
The actor's got to be 5 or 6. And then if that's the case, he could make card.
Could make card, but still the spelling of happy birthday even
Was
like
my kids would struggle with that in first grade.
My kindergartner couldn't write that on his own. Like, so
my first grader would ask me.
Yeah.
And I would do one letter at a time and
that's how it would do.
It would not be centered.
Yeah, it wouldn't be centered. It wouldn't be in a line.
Yeah.
It'd start big, it'd get small.
That's right. All the classics.
Like meet a kid.
I got all the time in the world. Happo, no.
So did an adult off screen make that? I don't know. Maybe Baby Jack Baby Jack's out.
He's also Baby Jack conveniently forgotten about Lucas.
Yeah.
His buddy, just forgotten.
Hey, buddy.
All in all, you know how kids forget. Kids at 4 or 5, if they love someone dearly and then you take them away, they don't ever talk about them.
Yeah.
Not something they do.
I just want to break down really quickly a little bit further what happens at the end of this episode.
Lee Hodo, Baby Goldie made it.
Baby Goldie,
dynamite drop.
Baby Goldie,
yes.
They're racing. They're racing for how they're aging. Racing for how they're.
There's a lot of ways that could go wrong. I'm just gonna.
Fair. So. They're outside. They are.
Listen, I'm as big a fan.
They're having fun. Elizabeth, Nathan, they're talking.
Yeah.
He's doing magic tricks, the whole 9 yards. He hears a group of people singing inside for He's a Jolly Good Fellow. So a couple of things here. One, the group inside does know that it's his party.
Yes.
So... That's one thing. They know it's his party, and it is a bold move to sing for He's a Jolly Good Fellow.
To somebody else.
At their birthday.
But we're going to get to it.
It's also interestingly bold to hear them singing it inside with him not in the room and him go, that's my cue. That's an interesting move, too. There's a lot of interesting moves happening here.
Yeah.
The most interesting move of them all is somehow Lucas got in there without them singing.
Got it.
Somehow Lucas, who can barely walk, came inside, walked up a couple stairs, and said, "Sing to me, baby." I don't know. And they didn't see him. Somehow, Nathan and Elizabeth outside doing magic.
Well, there is a back door to the saloon.
Okay, he went through the back door.
My thing is, and you hit the nail on the head, this town is notorious for having one road in and one road out.
That's true.
And also notorious for when someone gets to town, people see them immediately and know it. How did the governor of the area, whatever that is, sneak into Hope Valley and up the stairs?
Up the stairs, a couple stairs. I'll go up a couple stairs. If you guys are going to sing
with my cane,
if you're going
to up a couple, yes, it's the least I can do.
If you guys are going to sing for He's a Jolly Good Fellow to me at Nathan's party, then yes, I will go up a couple stairs.
I mean, the face can't run into town on his motorcycle without people knowing it. The governor gets into town in a literal one-road town. Nobody knows.
No one knows.
Nobody knows. He didn't send word. He didn't do anything.
And it's proof that he can still do magic.
And he's like, here's the deal is I'm gonna sneak into town. I'm gonna spontaneously combust and just go into town. And then you're gonna sing at Nathan's party. That's how you know I'm still in the game for Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Because she's a prize to be won, as we all know.
So wonderfully dramatic, though.
Right?
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I will say this. I didn't see it coming. When they were singing for He's a Jolly Good Fellow, I didn't see it coming.
I just love that no one inside went, can we sing something else? Like,
because
sing something else. Let's sing something else.
I had already written down.
Yeah.
What a way to ruin an almost kiss.
Yeah.
Is they're singing for He's a Jolly Good Fellow inside and Nathan is outside.
Yeah.
It's going to be real
embarrassing.
embarrassing.
Back in here.
When he comes in and they sneak in together, it's going to be real embarrassing. Why did Elizabeth and Nathan sneak out together? No. Lucas is there. He appeared. Lucas is Jesus Christ. He just appeared. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
In their defense,
he's ascending up the staircase.
He is a jolly good fellow, I will say.
He is. No doubt about it. Amen.
Dan?
Oh, you're talking about Lucas. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. The leap that Nathan Grant makes to there's a surprise party when talking to Elizabeth for the first time is colossal. There is nothing. He's like, how's it going? She's like, I hear you have a birthday. He's like, Allie's taking me fishing. There's a surprise party, isn't there? She gives him nothing. There's no world where she has intimated at all anything other than everything's normal. And the acting's amazing because the writing's terrible. The acting is amazing. Kevin McGarry, fireman, carries that scene. He just absolutely is like, this is all you're giving me? Hold my beer. And he crushes it comedically.
Yeah.
The timing. And you know what I'm talking about, Jax. You're nodding your head, but you know exactly what I'm talking about.
And to that point.
Yeah, it works the whole way through the episode because he was really, really fun.
The roller coaster
otherwise
he
it's
goes on,
terrible.
where he's like, I'm getting a party. Going into Ned's and finding out that there's not a party, or thinking that there's not a party because they don't know about the party. And like him now being disappointed that there's not a party. It's a fun roller coaster that he goes on. He does a great job with it.
One of the great things about owning our own business is making our own schedule. We schedule our week to where Monday around here is crazy and Friday around here is nothing. That is how we schedule our week. We like walking down the ladder, and on Friday we spend the day with our family. We have enough work that could probably take 5 days, but we are in charge. We're our own boss, and that's the best part of being our own boss. The worst is you're never off the clock. You got to take work home. The best is you make your own schedule. We can prioritize family. Lee and Rosemary are their own bosses. They are. They're their own bosses. The onus for creating time for each other and for creating family time is on no one else but yourself. No one else but yourself. You have no excuses. You have no one to report to. You have no specific time frame aside from you have to get a newspaper out the door that you made yourself. So at the end of the day, be better. Be better across the board. Both of you be better. Mainly Lee, but both of you be better. Listen, I'm not here to say we should completely bag capitalism, but I kind of am. If you are watching this show and get excited for Hickam at the end of it, you've been robbed by someone in your lifetime. You've been robbed of your time and of your money and of your resources. You've been robbed. If you at the end go, man, Hickam, here's what happens to Hickam. Hickam, listen, when I started working at UPS, the first day I went in, I'm like, I'm going to just show everybody how good I am at hauling boxes. And I hauled 4 tractor trailers full of boxes by myself. And I was like, everybody was talking about it. Every manager was like, did you see this new Thompson kid? Unbelievable. The next day, you know what I got when I came in? 4 more trailers. That's what I got. They were like, Daniel's good for 4 trailers every day now. He's going to break his back. He's going to do it. Pay change? Absolutely not. Did anything change? Quality of life, quality of work? Absolutely not. Didn't change. Hickam has done an unbelievable job because his hair's on fire and he believes he's trying to help Lucas, who's his dear friend. And his reward for that is, hey, buddy, I've bought it and I'm going to be around less. I'm going to be around less, and there's going to be more to do. You're Mr. Manager. You get all of the responsibility and none of the capital, no share of the hotel, no stake in this game other than the sweat of your brow and a hard day's work. You are literally working and breaking your back so that Lee Coulter can prop his feet up with some lemonade. It's unbelievable. And that is considered a grand story in this episode. And my jaw dropped. I thought Lucas was going to be like, what if we make this guy the owner? What if we make him actual manager? What if we give him some stake in the game and make it mean something? The goal of our company is to like share it. That's the goal. Like you have to like what they're peddling here is toxic. And I have hundreds of years of data to tell you that it's toxic. And the fact that it's good is just unbelievable. And I'm going to end on a much more funnier one. This is the most useless murder board of all time. Rosemary is like, I got to figure this out, but I'm getting I'm getting confused because there's one person they've arrested and there's another person that I think did it. How do I straighten these two things out in my busy brain? And Lee's like, I've got it, sweetheart. Don't worry. Here's a cork board. I'm going to put 3 pictures up and tie 2 strings. You don't need a cork board. If you get a cork board out, it's because there's multiple permutations and possibilities everywhere. It is not to make a simple triangle. You made a simple geometric shape with your murder board. Save it. Save it. Wait till it gets more complicated. This murder board is useless. That's all I got, Brandon.
It's time for hopes and valleys. This is where we talk about things in this episode that are giving us hope for the future and or bumming us out. Jax.
My hope in this cafe, Rosemary mentioned a stage, you guys.
Oh, no.
And I was like, do they hear me? Like, they know it. They're giving me my little like flirty with Elizabeth and Nathan the way that I want it. Thank you for that. Now Rosemary might get her stage. That is my biggest hope. And the valley is, you know, Dan and I discussed that we had seen the preview, what's coming up. I actually was thinking to myself, yes, I love a little bit of drama, but I'm kind of glad that Elizabeth and Lucas are in separate places, getting to heal a little bit for a little bit of distance, and then we'll deal with this eventually. I don't want to go back to the love triangle. I don't. Please don't do that. We'll see how it pans out next
I
week.
need clarification because your hope was my valley. Didn't Lee build her a stage? Didn't he build her a stage?
Oh, wait, did Lee? Why aren't we utilizing
Thank
it? Like, what's happening?
They sit down at one of the end of the seasons and they're sitting in this dark place. He's like, I'm building you a stage. I'm doing it. And she's so excited.
You're
ahead, Erin.
right.
It's not just a stage. I swear he builds her a whole theater.
He builds her a whole theater. That's exactly right.
Do we not have a Hope Valley theater department?
And not only has she
Community theater.
More than a newspaper, we need a theater
Thank you.
department.
That is her profession.
Jax, get yourself to Hope Valley now.
That's right.
I'm begging that.
Listen, journalism, not your profession, clearly. Acting is. You have a theater in town. You're not using it. And now instead of using it, you want them to build a stage in the Queen of Hearts? Do what? That was my valley. And the other thing you said, also my valley. So I already did mine.
I didn't see the thing that you guys are talking about, so I'm going to choose to live in the hopeful part of this here meadow and relish in the fact that we're getting what I hoped for. They're gonna speed through this. We're gonna be married by the end of the season. We're gonna live in that life. That's what I'm gonna choose to have hope in. Do we have a What's Calling My Heart, Dan?
We certainly do. Email us. Tell us what's calling your heart. hello@deckthehallmark.com. This is from Aaron Rempe. Aaron, hi, Jax, Dan, and Bran. What's calling my heart is having Jax back on the pod.
Yeah.
Amen. That's what's calling all of our hearts. The way she can be a constant source of light and always have something positive to say is commendable and a real talent. Additionally, I'm proud of Hallmark for being most exclusive, even if that means a simple nod to a possible relationship between Faith and Fiona. I think she means most inclusive is what I think she means there. I don't want to put words in her mouth. Keep up the good work. Not excited for the season When Calls the Heart, but excited for all of your reviews, which I'll listen to while spring cleaning and beating my rugs. Signed, Aaron Rempe. It's going to haunt you for a long time, buddy. It just is.
I love it forever.
It just is. Nicely done, Aaron.
Well, we did it. We're going to be back next week with episode 3 of this here season. We'll be back tomorrow with another episode of Deck the Hallmark. But until then, maybe we're the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark's a Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.